What's going on, everybody? This is an episode from the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast. Do you like podcasts and you want to see the full podcast? Make sure you check out the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast on all your podcast platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, among many others. But you're listening to the episode right here on YouTube, so make sure you hit that like button and below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button to NC Studios and NC Level Up for all your gaming needs. This is the Nerd Coalition. Enjoy the show. To kick things off here, I think I want to talk about the Hall of Fame. And the newest inductee into the class of 2025, who will be joining Triple H in the Hall of Fame, is none other than Michelle Mccool. So here's the thing about Michelle Mccool. I am a fan of Michelle Mccool. Michelle Mccool is from that Divas era. She's from that era where there was only 30-second matches. They didn't get any type of storylines or anything like that. And honestly, I knew Michelle Mccool was going to be in the Hall of Fame. Okay? And I did not think it would be this year. I really thought we was heading to, because they keep teasing it all the time. I really thought we was heading to Mickie James, who's one of my favorites, or Victoria. I really thought we was heading in that direction. But we got Michelle McCool, and let me get that. I'm not mad about Michelle McCool. They, I don't know if it was on where it was at where they surprised her, but she got another surprise induction, which they didn't even know. I think Shawn Triple H surprised her, and she was with the Undertaker. I think it was on the set of the LFG show that they got going on, and she was genuinely taken aback by it. And here's the thing: it's well deserved. It's well deserved. And the thing is, she was on Chris Van Vliet's podcast, right? And he interviewed her and was talking to her about the Hall of Fame. Do you want to be in the Hall of Fame? She said it'll be an honor. Obviously, it would be an honor to be in the Hall of Fame. And honestly, Michelle Mccool is a worker, so she should definitely be in the Hall of Fame. But she brought up a point that I agree with also. She said, but my biggest run, what really put Michelle Mccool in prominence, was when she was with Lay Cool. That Lay Cool run was dope because in that Divas era, if you wasn't the Bellas, you really didn't get nothing. But Lay Cool found a way to do their tag team thing, and they were the double champions. It was like two fusing to one, and I like that. She said, if I ever go into the Hall of Fame, I would have to be with Layla. And again, I don't know where Layla is at. Layla keeps a low profile, so I don't know what goes on with Layla. But she would say it would have to be with Layla. And 24 or 48 hours later, she's like, they announced her to be in the Hall of Fame by herself. And I'm like, I mean, it's an honor. It's like, fuck Layla. Maybe they'll have Layla be the one to induct her into the Hall of Fame and bring Layla back into the fold. Because me personally, the only way Layla will get into the Hall of Fame is with Lay Cool. Layla by herself, Layla's singles run, even though she was one of them women who got better. Okay, because the time that her and Michelle McCool got in there, and they were both Diva Search, I believe. They was just in the era where women were not allowed to do anything at all. And the most memorable stuff that Layla had is when she teamed up with Lay Cool, and vice versa with Michelle McCool. Now, me personally, I do think that Michelle McCool is the better worker, and she. Some may say that Michelle McCool just came too early because she reminded me of like Charlotte. She was very, very athletic when she first came in, and what Vince was looking for was just sexy blondes that he can make out with and be sleazy with on television. That's what it was. And Michelle McCool, even though I still think Michelle McCool is very attractive, that's just not what Vince didn't, I guess, didn't see her that way. She wasn't a Kelly, you know what I'm saying, or a Tori Wilson type thing. But me personally, Michelle McCool, she was very athletic, and she was before her time. And she was in that era with the Bellas and the Lay Cool thing, and she had a nice rivalry going on with Beth Phoenix. She has some of the standout she had was that tag team tables match when they used to have the Divas of Destruction with Beth Phoenix and Natalya. going up against in Lake Cool. They had a tag team tables match, and I didn't think that was at TLC 2010, and they did. Like, there was a spot where they was on the top rope, and then the tire knocks them out, and they both fall onto the table, but the table don't break. It kind of like sags in the middle, and everybody says, jump off the table. And the tire jumps off the table and splashes them, and they got like a pop or something like that. So I remember that spot. The Mickey James stuff, I hated that. Because, once again, I know it wasn't Michelle McCool and them is like, forcefully just doing that. So it was a Vince McMahon type thing. At first, I was like, why do you keep calling Mickey James fat? First, see, this is how you can tell how old white men be looking at women and how we be looking at women. I'm just like, no, Mickey James was thick. You know what I'm saying? Fat my ass. I'm like, Bertha Faye was fat. If anybody remember Bertha Faye, Mickey James wasn't fat at all. Sweetie was thick. Okay, and I used to love, back in the day, you ain't gonna, I don't know if you can find that, but on my MySpace account, it was Mickey James everything, because I was infatuated with Mickey James. And there was nothing fat about Mickey James. She was thick. Okay? And that's what I liked about Mickey James. And they had this whole Mickey James angle. And I hated it. I really didn't like it. I was like, yo, y'all gonna stop calling my girl fat. Like, I was like really up into that, right? But she had good matches, even like with Mickey James and Melina. And there was times where, like, these women were trying to go, sometimes, as they would call it, business for themselves. And she had mentioned, this is something that she mentioned before, that there was a spot where her and Melina had a match. Was her Melina, her Mickey James, I'm not sure, where they did like a DDT on the apron and they got heat backstage because that's not what the woman's supposed to do. Or there was another match between, according to her, between her and Melina, where their punches looked too good. And somebody came out and said, you got to go out there and do that match over again because the punches look too good. And Jericho kind of like defended from like the guys need to throw better punches, but they said to go out there and do the match over again because you ain't allowed to outshine the men. And now, to somebody that's looking at WWE today, that's foreign to them. That's foreign because when you got women that are the main event, you have women that have been in Hell in a Cell matches, who've been in ladder matches, who've been in table matches, who've been in these kind of big cage matches, who've been in these kind of matches, and not fighting like women who out there. You got Charlotte out there doing moonsaults to the outside, doing corkscrew moonsaults at WrestleMania. Like, these are what women are doing out here. So it's foreign to a new fan that's watching this. But back in the day, from that era of, right after Ruthless Aggression, I would say like right in that 2006 going into 2012, that era, that Divas era where it was like, because even I still try to give a little leeway to Ruthless Aggression because Molly Holly, Trish Stratus, Lita, Jazz, those women out there was actually going out there and still trying to, work. But then when the Kellys came, when the Diva shirts, came to 2005, when that Diva search came and you had all of them, it was just like, I just want women that, just look good, that are just divas. I don't want athletes. I want divas. That is where, that's the era that unfortunately she falls in, and she was just way too early. She was before, like I said, before her time. So all of this is saying that it's well deserved that she's going to go into the Hall of Fame. Most, like I said, I would like for Layla to induct her. I do agree that her and Layla should have won in there together. But as of right now, I'm really excited to see, as of right now, of what the Hall of Fame is going to be. So we got Triple H is in there as the headliner. We got Michelle McCool. I still think because they just recently signed that Legends deal, Demolition got to go into the Hall of Fame. You have to pull the trigger on Demolition now. Demolition's in the mid to late 70s. You have to pull the trigger on Demolition this year because you need a tag team, and Demolition's the perfect one to go in there. And they just signed a Legends deal, which means they can be in games, they can be in have toys, and they can be in the Hall of Fame. And it's well overdue. It's well overdue. Demolition should definitely have been in the Hall of Fame. Obviously, they had that they would have been blackballed because of the Axe tried to sue, and they put a name on that concussion lawsuit that they had that got dismissed. So they were blackballed. And Demolition is neat. Now, once again, I used to watch WCW back in the day. So I was always a Road Warriors guy. You know, before, then when they came in WWF, the LOD. You know, but I knew what Demolition was doing. Now, honestly, I had to go back for Demolition because by the time I started even trying to check out WWF, Repo Man was on TV. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, dude, we ain't doing Repo Man. But and then actually, obviously, you know, they were out, but going back on like, yo, Demolition was that ish back in the day. So I'm hoping Demolition goes in there, and I still got fingers crossed with Ken Shamrock. He signed that Legends deal because he was in 2K24. He's gonna be in 2K25. He signed that Legends deal. I'm still hoping that Ken Shamrock gets denied for the Hall of Fame this year as well. And I don't know how many choices going to try to put in there, but Triple H, Michelle McCool, Demolition, Ken Shamrock, probably one more. Honestly would not even if they do it, even if they decide to do a celebrity inductee, maybe. I don't know, but I still hold out hope for Demolition and Ken Shamrock. But having Michelle McCool go in there, it is well deserved. I did think along the lines of Mickie James and Victoria, but still, because like I said, there's a handful of women that is like truly deserving to be in the Hall of Fame, and Michelle McCool is one of them. So, props to her, Michelle McCool. I'm glad that she was able to make it in.